Hello YouTube, welcome to the very first Pioneer sessions. Today we'll be talking about capturing HTTP requests. So this video has a small set of prerequisites which I believe you must know. So these are having a basic working knowledge of HTTP requests. So you must know about how they work, right? So you need to know the basics, the GET request, the POST requests, and the proxies, right? So let's dive in. I'll be discussing the basics first, so if you have ever learned about any of these stuff, you will be good to go. But if you haven't, you do not seem to know what a GET request is or what a POST request is, I suggest that you look upon the web for some brilliant resources. And if you want, I can give a link to them also. Right, so please let me know in the comments if I need to do that. Cool, so let's start with the basic. So we have an application and we have a server, right? So this is pretty standard format of the web communication. Your application wants to send the data to the server in the form of request, and the server then sends something back as a response. This is how applications communicate with the internet, right? This is how we think it happens. No, it doesn't happen this way, right? So let's see how it really happens. This is how internet really is, right? So the green box shows a server, while the red box shows a client somewhere on the network. Now, at this moment, I believe that you must appreciate the work of the people who created the internet. They have created it in such a manner that it almost seems that there is a direct link between the server and the client, while in reality, there is nothing like this. So it's a pretty complicated thing, right? But we're not concerned with what is happening outside. We're just concerned with what is happening in the client. So let's take a good look on the client itself now. Coming back to the application and server. Now, whenever we have an application, it is obviously running on some kind of a machine. Let's say the Spotify app is running on your mobile, or some other application, suppose web browser, is running on your laptop. So let's bring that into the picture first. Along with that, on every device there are a large number of applications running. So if each application implements its own set of rules for communicating over internet, it will become very troublesome. So for each application, there is a defined set of rules which every application uses for communicating with someone on the server, right? Okay, so let's just call those set of rules or modules iUnit. iUnit is responsible for communications between the application and the server. So let's see how it goes now. The application makes a request for the server via the iUnit. iUnit acts as an intermediary, and this request reaches the server. Then server sends the response back, and from the iUnit, the application gets it back, right? Okay, so far so good. I think the principal reason why iUnit is there, I'll repeat again, is because it is to facilitate the handling of large number of applications on the client system. So let's look at iUnit application and client system in more detail. Now, our main aim was to know what kind of requests are being sent by the application over the internet. So let's just think about adding something which will keep an eye on the application, right? So I think we all know what a proxy is. A proxy is used, I will say those things which are used in the layman terms. A proxy is used to unblock sites, right? So what really happens is a proxy is a server which is listening for connections. As soon as you hit it from your own system with a request, it transfers that request to where it actually was to be done, and it gets the response and it then sends the response back to you, right? So that is how it unblocks sites. Now, we'll be using a kind of same thing, but this proxy would not be running outside the system. This would be running on the system. So let's add it. So let's call it MITM proxy, where MITM stands for man in the middle, right? Because essentially it will be standing between the application and the internet. So now let's see, after configuring the application for this proxy, how it all happens. The application sends a request to the iUnit with the appropriate proxy configuration, and then the IUnit sends it to the MITM proxy. Now at this point, IUnit knows that this proxy is running on its own machine. That is why it sends it to the MITM proxy directly. Then MITM calls the IUnit again with the original web request that application requires. IUnit sends it to the server, and then the server sends it back. And then IUnit sends it back to the proxy. Proxy sends it back to the IUnit, and IUnit sends it back to the application. And there's it. Our transaction is complete, right? So let's see how the whole picture looks like. Right. So this is the complete transaction now. Cool. So let's just see how do we realize this on our own systems. So for the application, I would be using Mozilla Firefox, and for the proxy, the MITM proxy, I'll be using Burp Suite. Cool. While a caveat is that Burp Suite is a application which consists of lots and lots of things, but we're only concerned about the proxy part here, so you don't have to worry about what all features it has to offer. Cool. So I have already downloaded Firefox, but I'll download the Burp Suite once to just show you how to get it. So you had to go to the Portswigger website. Portswigger is the developer of Burp Suite. You had to go and get the community edition. And I would suggest you download the jar file if you have Java installed. Otherwise, you can also install the installer, right? Whatever suits you, it's all the same. Now, I have already downloaded Burp Suite, so I'll just open it up, right? Burp Suite is, so while it's loading, let's talk about what Burp Suite is about. Burp Suite is an application which is used for a large number of things, mainly for web security testings, right? It has loads and loads of features, of which MITM proxy is one. There we have it. So we'll just load the settings with default. And there it is, up and running. So we'll go to the proxy tab. We don't have to worry about all those knobs and dials there. I know it seems so complex, but you don't have to worry about anything. Right, so next we can see here that the address and the port that it is listening for incoming connections. So it is listening at the localhost 127.0.0.1 and port is 8080. So now we will start Firefox. Now we'll have started Firefox, and we have to change some configurations. So you need to go to options, and then you need to go to the network, right? And then you need to set it to manual proxy configuration, and you have to add 127.0.0.1 as the address and the port being 8080. That's fine. Okay, so that is there. Now next you need some certificates for this to work flawlessly. So you need to go to this link, right? And now it will show you the certificate. So now you have to download the certificate. Okay. Yeah, that is done. So now you just install and open it, and you now install the certificate, follow the on-screen instructions. This import is done, and now next thing is to import it into the Firefox settings. Yeah, so I'll do the same thing. I'll import it again here. Yeah, so I've already done it. So it is showing me that this is already installed, but it will show the two different options on your screen. So you have to select both of them and select OK, and it'll be installed easily. Okay. Well, let's come back. Let's see them side by side. Okay. So I'll make a simple GET request here. Right, Google is loaded, and then I'll see HTTP history. So you can see that so many requests have already been made by the browser. Let's see what are these like. So this is like just the browser is testing whether it's connected to the internet or not. Detect.portal.firefox.com. Then the others, there are some trackers right there. some kind of trackers. And then when I loaded Google is not just Google. See how many requests are already there, right? Some are related to ads, some are related to some APIs, and there's a whole tons of stuff right there. Get, post request, both of them. Yeah, so that is that. So we have set up an MITM proxy right between our application, Firefox, and the internet. Now you can go wherever. Let's say we go to Wikipedia. And then you can see what all requests were made here. The first request was made for Wikipedia that I made, and then all these requests were probably made by some JavaScript on the page, right? So this can show you everything. Not the everything in the sense that it'll only show you the HTTP request, right? There are a lot number of protocols that these applications use, but then it's fine. Like, we're only concerned about HTTP here, so that's fine. Coming back, let's just close the Burp Suite once. So let's go back once. Now we have oopsie. There seems to be some issue with this. Cool, we'll just continue with in the same manner. Right, so let's talk about the utility here. So what are we thinking about in the sense of working, vulnerability, assessment, and privacy? I think these are all the applications which happens to be the things which we can achieve by this, right? So we can explore how things work, we can assess the vulnerabilities of web applications, and then we can have privacy, right? So let's come to each of one. Starting with privacy, when you set up a MITM proxy between an application and the server, you can just see what kind of data is coming in and going out. And vulnerability assessment, you can just see like what are the things that can go wrong with this application. The request that it is making to the server, is it making a request to some files which are outdated, or can they be somehow hijacked or hacked? So that is the kind of things. And working, you can just find out how things work, what kind of applications are they referring to, what kind of APIs are there, and that kind of stuff. Well, that was it. So here we have reached the end of the video, and here is Timble. I know he just came along earlier too, and I don't know, maybe he was in a hurry. So let's talk about Sir Tim Berners-Lee, of also referred to as Timble, and he and his team created the HTTP requests, not the request, but the protocol, hypertext transfer protocol. So I'm able to teach you today because of him. So thanks, Tim. Thanks a lot. Goodbye.